Okay, hey guys, in this video we are going to talk about common misconceptions in the Philippines. Stick around. Hello.
Yeah?
Yeah. I hear you have a good breakfast. Yeah?
What's your favorite here? What's the best breakfast?
It's all good.
All the food is good.
That's a waitress answer.
That's a very Filipino waitress answer. Everything is good.
Let's see. I think I'm going to do the farmer's omelet. Yeah. Thank you. What's your name? Juliet. I'm Romeo. All right, so Paul, thanks for joining me again. We're here in beautiful Moalboal. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I do with many Filipino city names, but so we were just talking earlier. We just ordered breakfast, and we were talking about a lot of things that expats and including us have misconceptions on when they come out to the Philippines. And I think personally, one of the biggest things is that women are just going to fall all over you when you come here. And I think guys that come out here, even if they're 70 and maybe overweight, they still, for some reason, think that they can have any woman. And I just don't think that's true. I think that's a pretty big misconception. What do you think about that?
I think that is a misconception. It also depends on what type of girl you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the middle class, higher educated women are not going to go for that. You know, maybe somewhere that's more into the province type of deal where there's less foreigners, maybe. But I always say be the best you can be. So why be overweight and if you're 70 years old, you know, get in shape when you come in here. You know, you get retired.
But even if you're, okay, let's say you're 50 and you're in good shape, you're still going to come across Filipinas who aren't interested in dating you.
Yes, you have Filipinas that are absolutely not interested in dating foreigners.
Right.
I mean, it has to be like a Brad Pitt or a Tom Cruise for them to even look at you.
That's right. And also there's a lot of upper class, higher educated Filipinos who have no interest. There's also some that are just in the province that just say, you know what, I just have more in common with a Filipino. And
it's and there are some negative conceptions when it comes to, or perception for Filipinas when it comes to foreigners, because they feel like if they're dating a foreigner, people will say bad stuff, especially if they're upper middle class.
Right.
So they don't want to do that. So it's negative, while other people perceive it as a positive. So it's really dependent, you know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I've heard girls say, "Oh wow, you're dating a foreigner," like that to other girls. It's like, and then I think it goes the other way too. So.
Yeah, and you get a lot of them that. They automatically think, and this is from the Filipino perspective, they automatically think that she is with the foreigner for money.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are. Obviously, not all, that's for sure.
I don't know if it's a lot. I'd say some.
Some, yeah, we should say some.
So, but, voila. We're making video now.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. They like to come in some of the tourist destinations here in the Philippines. They'll send the little kids out to sell like the little bead shell necklaces and things like that. So,
I don't want any of that stuff.
No, but
I'm almost tempted just to give them money to go away, but I don't know.
And that's why they use the children to do that, and they also use the children because they think you'll feel bad for them. Cute little kid. I'll buy a 200 peso bracelet.
That I'll throw in the trash.
Right, because they're very cheaply made and stuff. But I totally get it. I get it.
At least they're trying, you know.
Right. At least they're not begging. They're actually trying to make something and sell something. So.
Yeah.
So what's another misconception? I think another misconception coming out here is that they think it's just going to be dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And that's also another misconception. You find out quickly, like, for example, electric is actually more expensive.
It's about double the price of the US.
Double the price. I mean, you might have a smaller electric bill overall than the US, but it's because your place is much smaller.
Okay, like, I give you an example. My condo, I'm paying about $100 an electric bill. Now, I do have the sun coming in the morning.
Yep.
That's a 42 square meter, or 420 roughly square feet. My house in the US was 300 square meters, roughly 3,000 square feet. And my bill there was between, on average, about $200. So it's, the electric is more expensive, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the houses are not insulated, so you end up using more electric per square meter, square foot, however you want to measure it.
True.
So it is much more expensive. The concept that now local food is relatively cheap. You go to the markets, you go to the supermarkets, not so much. You want to buy stuff from the US and Europe, it's going to be more expensive than the US and Europe. So your budget here it's not like it was 15 years ago. You go out, you buy a rotisserie chicken, you're paying like $50, you know?
Right.
Now, for a rotisserie chicken, when you go outside, it's $4 to $5. That's really not that much different from the US.
True.
So,
and even the internet really isn't that cheap. I pay $40 approximately a month for not super high speed, but just
30.
kind of like, 30.
It's cheaper in the US.
Yep. So I think our drinks are coming here, so we'll pause for this brief intermission.
Juliet from Romeo and Juliet will be serving tea. Is that your real name?
Yes.
Oh.
That's so small. Look at the size of that tea. That's a big tea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Juliet. We pause for this brief intermission for water and
Tea.
tea. Spot of tea.
I've got to have a hot tea, you know, a cup of tea. You're not having a cup of tea, Jill?
It's huge. Okay, so what else we have? We're talking about electric, internet. Internet maybe about the same. Electric. But if you want to maintain a Western diet out here, it's going to be more expensive.
It is going to be more expensive.
Yep. Because everything imported in from like the U.S., the U.K., Australia, about a 30% increase, I would say.
Cost, yeah.
Cost. Same with electronics and things like that. So, yeah, you can totally live on a very inexpensive budget, but you're really almost would have to convert over to a Filipino type lifestyle.
Yes. The other misconception maybe is that travel is so cheap. It isn't.
No, not really. Yeah.
Now the taking the ship over is cheap. The buses are relatively cheap.
Yep.
Plane actually, once they start flying again, I don't know what the prices will be, but they were relatively inexpensive compared to the U.S. But hotel accommodations, not that inexpensive anymore.
Not so much, no.
I mean, it's compared to the U.S., yes, but it's still expensive. If somebody on a budget,
Sure.
$1,500 budget, you're not going to rent a $100 room per night when you're not working.
Yeah. Okay, we had a friend who rented out a jet ski the other day. It was 4,000 pesos for
4,500 for 1 hour.
4,500 for 1 hour. So that's
Roughly $100.
roughly $100 to rent out a jet ski. Now, I don't know the price in the U.S. Somebody can comment down below, but I'm sure it's more. But still, that's an expensive hour, you know.
Plus, they have the cano pricing here, as we call it. The white skin tax.
Yes.
So when you take a trike, it's going to be more expensive than a Filipino. At the market, sometimes they'll make the price go up. So you got to know. It takes a while, but you got to know the prices. You got to know what to offer. Otherwise, you'll get shafted.
And that might be a tip for people out there. If you do have a Filipina girlfriend and you move out here, send her to the market alone, or be away from her, be about 100 paces away from her, and let her kind of.
That's what I did.
Right, exactly. So I did that too.
But once
because
you know
will
the prices,
once you know the prices and you start going to one who you go to on a regular basis, they know that you know the price and they're not going to try to change it up. You know, I would spend 100 pesos on a kilo of potatoes, and that was the price, and I would go see the same lady each time. You know, and so. Well, and another misconception, I think a lot of people just think you run into a lot of scammers in the Philippines, and maybe online, but in person, really the majority are not scammers. Most of them are just good, hardworking Filipinos, and I think the majority of them really just want a regular, real relationship. But online, I can see where people get that impression.
because we were having this discussion the other day off cam, and we were talking about. I was saying how I was so surprised how honest people are in the Philippines compared to their poverty level.
Right.
Because there's a correlation. Because obviously the more poor you are, the more I don't know if desperate is the right word, but you'll do more to get money in because you need it to survive. You know.
Right.
It's not. You know, whether you're not choosing between an iPhone and a Samsung, you're choosing to get a communication, you know, to get food on the table.
Right.
So if you find a phone, you tend to keep it if you're really poor, right? Because you don't have a phone.
Right.
But here I found the opposite. I left my phone on my
motorbike.
On my motorbike, was given back to me. Now it has happened once here in Cebu. Somebody took it.
Right.
Either that or I dropped it somewhere. I'm not sure when I lost it. But my GoPro, I left that at a fast food place. Came back 30 minutes. It was there. They gave it back to me. And that was when my GoPro was brand new, and you know, was over an average Filipino's month's wage.
Yeah.
But they didn't keep it. They gave it back to me, and I feel more safe here, and trust people more when losing things than I do in the U.S. Like I can leave something on the beach, and I'm pretty sure no one's going to touch it. While in Europe or the U.S., I'm pretty sure it's going to be gone. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I've left my phone on my motorbike multiple times because you have the phone holder on my motorbike and you put it in there and then you walk away.
You forget.
And you realize you're in the store and then realize your phone is still there. Come out an hour later and you're like, wow, it's still here. Or the parking attendant has it.
Took it, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So honesty is something, I don't know if it's a misconception or not, but for me, I was surprised at the level of honesty and integrity here in the Philippines. It really, really did surprise me.
For sure. Yep. All right, guys. So those are just a few misconceptions about the Philippines. Now, we probably could go on and on for quite a while about a lot of common misconceptions here. But at this point, I'll have you guys who have visited the Philippines tell us about some common misconceptions that you had before you got out here, and what you found to be untrue when you arrived. So go ahead, comment down below. And Paul, I appreciate you being on the video again.
Just one thing, even those who haven't been to the Philippines, maybe they have some conceptions, and they could comment on that too, what their conceptions are.
Yeah, what your conceptions are, and people who have been out here could tell you whether it's true or not. So thanks for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up, guys. Share if you found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, that way you are updated every time I come out with a new video. And also, if you are not a YouTube member of Geo in the Philippines, make sure you sign up by hitting the join button below any of my videos today. See you guys next time. Bye.
Wow. Come on, groove it on. I said, baby, I know you're on a roll. Sweet honey, let's take it real slow.